Namaskar to all. Myself, Dr.Chandra Mouli, psychologist, Jignasu, and founder of Koushalam Foundation. In today's world, many people are suffering from ailments, pain, and various diseases which are uncurable, which can cause painful situations. My research and work is to possibly find a solution to these ailments. First of all, let me introduce a section called Psychosomatic Science, which is part of the psychology. It introduces a triangle which covers basic necessities and various aspects. At the peak of it, like a cherry on the cake, is self-actualization. Psychosomatic science is a part of this section. It's not well known by common people. Even psychologists doesn't seem to touch too much on this topic. This section involves with physical and psychological mano-daihika aspects of it. While in Vedas this comes as fundamental, in Western world this comes as a peak, as I explained before. Why is this that in Vedas it comes in the beginning or basic? Let's understand more. Psycho or mano, physiological, or somatic, physical or daihika science. In our study of science involving physics, chemistry and biology, etc., the aspects like discrete, reductionism, fishnet theory will try to separate various aspects of physical, psychological aspects and study in depth each one of this. However, the linkage between the physical and psychological aspects are probably broken. Therefore, when we go to specialists for diagnosis and treatment, those medical specialists being specialized in specific section like ortho, internal medicine, etc., they certainly have an in-depth knowledge on these specific areas. They listen to the symptoms, go through lab tests, reports, and give prescriptions to those specific symptoms. These are definitely useful to resolve some of the diseases. Here is where need to see the Ayurveda from our ancient Indian Vedic period and Samaveda, which was much before that. In Samaveda, we find Bruhati, which is one of the Chandasu, pocket of potentia we may call it, which has 72 swaras. This is because in our body we have 72,000 nadis. Let's go a bit further on this under this aspect. Each body is very unique and we can't have a statistical value and root mean deviation, that's bell curve, for each of those. For example, when we measure our sugar level in the body, we know there is a specific range in which it is said to be normal, and beyond this, above or below, it can be considered as high or low. Similarly, for BP and other parameters are also measured to be in a particular range. These are therefore analytical and statistical output found through studies. But the psychosomatic alignment is in the motion or dynamics. There are two types of equilibrium, static and dynamic. For example, if a glass is kept on a table, it continues to be in the state of rest until some external force moves the same. This is static equilibrium. We all know about it. However, in our body, whether we are sleeping, sitting, walking, running, the parts of our bodies like heart, brain, and so many other organs continues to be working. Their sthiti or state keeps changing but will never stop. If heart stops for few moments, it's a death. Therefore, that's what keeps human body alive, is in the balance of such dynamic momentum. Agni, which is aha-ni, giving momentum to inertia or in the system. We could understand this as dynamic equilibrium. As this is dynamic, we can't really have a statistical methods or measurements to clearly identify, understand, fix them into a range and solve the problems. The inner dynamics are to be understood through their swadharma or self-religiousness or attributes or experience. Some learned rishis could understand this through a lot of thinking and studies. Also, this cannot be understood from outer studies, but only possible through understanding of inner sense, such as supta and sukshma prajna. That's dormant and subtle consciousness, we call it in English. There are 4 aspects in human body: vyakta, expressed; sukshma, that is subtle; sushupta, the dormant; and turiya, which is beyond or seed. These works based on 5 core cells, and they are annamaya, food cell; manomaya, mind cell; pranamaya, life cell; vijnanamaya, wisdom cell; and anandamaya, the bliss cell. These are hidden in the aspects like expressed, subtle, etc. These are different in bhautika avaste or physical state, and in supta avaste, subtle state, and also the other one shaktika avaste, that is divine energy state. These works based on the energy that flows in the 72,000 nadis contained in the human being. The above concepts are provided in full detail in my book titled Vedic Evolution in English, Veda Vikasa in Kannada. My second book titled Actualization of Thought and Veda Vikasa Antya Shastra, again in English and Kannada respectively. I humbly request interested people to go through these works to have more in-depth knowledge and to gain the complete understanding. So what is important is to understand is how our ancient rishis and munis used to know and treat themselves and even others for various diseases or vyadhi as it is called in the past when medicines did not exist. What those rishis did was to convert the apaurusheya or potentia to paurusheya, possibility. They could convert potentia into possibility form and brought into a knowledge which can be well understood by common man, put into practice, or anusthana. Anusthana means practice. In a such anusthana, there are about 1,000 forms or murtas. Means to become a human being, the journey from infinite or formless, there are 1,000 forms. Trouble is caused due to those forms which are not having optimum value. In Ayurveda, there are two concepts, swasthya and arogya. Swasthya means staying in self-religiousness attributes. Arogya means calibrating the Arishadvargas like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya. Swasthya means those components which stays in their optimum condition. When all these are in optimum condition, they are called swasthya. However, arogya is achieved when the vargas are in the right condition. Like I said above, those Arishad vargas, namely Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. Through my research, I have read, understood the way to practice or anusthana to gain arogya. But I could not impress people to practice this, as appreciating the values and understanding becomes difficult for other persons. It requires a lot of study, faith and understanding. This is primarily due to the fact that people are busy in their lives and therefore they cannot put a lot of time to practice, perform japa, operating the feedback loops, or tapa, bearing heat, suffering when calibrating. They can rather pay money to outsource even pujas without themselves participating. But we need to understand that if I breathe, I get life. If I eat, then only it's my food. Same way, swasthya and arogya can be achieved only if one practices. Therefore, when we are not well or not peaceful, we tend to go to the medicines, take painkillers and treatment which can act on the symptoms and not necessarily the root cause of the pain. So I thought how to take the goodness of my research for benefit of people who don't want or who can't afford to sit and understand and do japa and tapa, etc. But at times they can't even pay for the medicines. So what I have done is extensively studied the mantras which are from Bruhati Chandasu. They have mantras for each of their 1000 forms which I explained earlier. Having understood its manifestable forms, converted those mantras into musical notes, it also takes care of chakras, that is energy centers, how nadis work and their effect on various critical parts, marmanga or crucial joints of maximum 3 basic energies. So basically how these nadis work and the various functions of our body. Further, I created a video episodes which doesn't need you to pay any money. All you need is your valuable few minutes to just play on the YouTube and listen to it. In each of the video, there will be 10 anushthanas or practices which focuses on various imbalances like heart, emotion, etc. The swaras composed focuses on each such deficiencies. The raga or the tune is composed and played in each episode. Each mantra has 72 swaras. Considering that we have to balance 1000 major nadis in our body. While I am posting these videos in my channel, more details are available also in my books, Vedic Evolution in English, Veda Vikasana in Kannada. My second book titled Actualization of Thought and Veda Vikasa Antya Shastra, again in English and Kannada respectively, thankfully published by Notion Press. You can also get these books in Amazon. I encourage those who can spend time to go through these books and get the use of this. Listen to these videos that I am posting and get balanced mind and balanced physical conditions. They can move in essence or sat state, and then certainly can move in an attribute conditions. When one follows the path of self-religiousness, he will be automatically going in the right path. Such people who are around can create a good society. A good society can create a progressive country and a wonderful world. People living in such world will have Sat, Chit and Anand, nothing but the essence, existence and the bliss. Therefore, to all the listeners, I once again humbly request to subscribe to my channel by pressing the bell icon. Listen to this, pass on to your elders, your friends, and specifically those who are having difficulties in sleeping, serious ailments, and those elders who are psychologically disturbed, and also those who are in the stressed conditions in today's world. I can assure you, and this has been tried by many of my followers, and I have the feedback, just by listening to this episode, one can achieve peace. Friends, I am doing this as a service to the mankind, which is a God-given ability to me. You don't have to learn, you don't have to chant, you don't have to even pay for this. Just play this when you are possibly disturbed and need peace of mind. When you are not able to sleep well due to some physical or psychological trouble. Each day you can listen to 1 or 2 episodes and gain good health and happiness. Good luck to all, and thanks for listening this.